Oxford from the inside. The good, the bad, but always the truth.
Hey guys, welcome to Oxford from the Inside, the good, the bad, but always the truth. Today we're having a special episode where we're meeting our new interviewers. So, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure,
Nelson?
I'll start. I'm Nelson, first year PPEist at Trinity, and basically got too many roles to name at this point, but I cover access work and journalism, so you'll see me around.
Oh, go on. What roles do you do before we move on?
Vice President for Communications at Target Schools, writer and European Community Manager at TLDR, Technical Director at OSPL, columnist at OBR, Family Background Rep, and Student Access Rep.
Wow. Wow, congrats. Do PPS have too much time? Who knows? Anyways, Anna, starting with you.
Hi, I'm Anna, also first year PPist, though I don't have that much on my agenda. I go to Oriel College. I'm from Frankfurt, so Germany, half Spanish though. And yeah, I'm interested in tennis. I play the violin. Yeah, that's all for me.
Have you lived in Frankfurt your whole life?
Yeah, I've lived in Frankfurt my entire life.
Nice. Wow. And Olivia?
Hi, I'm Olviya. I am also a first year, also at Trinity, but I'm doing English language and literature. And when I'm not drowning in essays, I sit and watch on Netflix. I've gone into embroidery recently. And then I also am working for a charity called Oxpath and Access, but that's pretty much all my life is at the moment.
Nice. And lastly?
Hi, I'm JP, a bit different from everyone else. I'm not actually a first year. I'll be doing my fourth year Biochemistry Masters from September. I'm at St Hilda's College, and I do have several roles in several lots of societies, but unfortunately, you can't do many of them with COVID. So currently I'm home in London and I'm volunteering with the NHS.
Nice. What kind of volunteering are you doing?
So I've got two main roles. First of all, it's a sprint, which is a kind of a weird acronym for patient transport, I think. But anyway, our roles is to transfer patients from hospitals. Some have COVID, some don't. And my other role is working in the emergency department in an A&E in a pretty badly hit hospital in London, helping with COVID patients and anyone else who gets coming in.
Nice. Wow. That's amazing. To start it off, why did you guys join Oxford from the Inside, and have you guys done any access work before? Starting with you, Nelson.
Yeah, so the reason I joined it is because I'm the typical first generation state school, free school meals student. And when you get to Oxford, you realize that there's tons of myths and misconceptions that just don't apply in reality, but that put off so many talented people from applying. And so part of the reason I joined, part of the passion I have for access work is, if you're talented enough to be here, you should be here, regardless of these myths and misconceptions. If you deserve to be here, you should be here.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah, if you're more curious, then yeah, if you're curious enough, then yeah, you deserve a place, and that's all it comes down to. Olivia, same question.
I guess pretty much quite similar to what Nelson was really saying. Just kind of like, because when I first started thinking about Oxford, I was very, very intimidated, especially when everyone says, "Oh, it's all the Southerners, like the posh Tory people," and I was just a bit like, "Ooh, not for me, I guess." You know what I mean? And so part of it is just kind of encouraging more people from a lot more backgrounds to apply. And just kind of like Oxford is a really diverse place to be. And I think it's really important that we emphasize that.
No, yeah, definitely. Before we carry on, so we know that Anna's from Frankfurt. Where are you three from? Starting with Olivia.
I currently live in Middlesbrough, so I'm like an hour south of Newcastle. I originally lived in Germany, so I was originally born and raised in Germany, but I moved here when I was 6 and completely forgot everything to do with Germany. So I'm pretty much as British as you can get now.
Nice. Wow. What a story. Nelson?
So born and raised in southwest London, but my heart is in Portugal, in specifically the island of Madeira. That's where my heart is.
Oh, wow. Nice. JP?
Also born and raised in southwest London, but my heart's in London.
Nice. Cool. I don't know if any of you guys have visited, but I'm from Brighton. If you haven't, recommend. But having said that, yeah, Brighton's got a reputation for, I don't know, well, I mean, it's in the south, so it's not really a reputation, but more of a geographical location. But I was from quite a rough real estate, the council estate, sorry, in Brighton. But anyways, same question about why you joined Oxford Insights and if you've done any access work, JP.
Also from the inside, I think it's a great way for me to kind of pass down my experiences of, well, I'm now going to be a fourth year. So I've been in Oxford a long time. I've done 3 years of access work for my college, both doing tours, going to prospective schools and talking about Oxford, but also with the interviews process. And that's something I think needs to be demystified. I know that last year was quite a strange one because I think the interviews were all done online due to COVID. But normally when you get to come in person, you need some students to kind of show you around. And I've heard all sorts of stories and misconceptions from prospective candidates who've told me all sorts of things about their interviews. So sometimes it's good to have somebody there to be like, this is not actually what happens. We're here to help. And let me tell you what I know.
Nice, yeah, for sure. And Anna, same question.
So I actually only found out about Oxford from the inside a couple of weeks ago. And I just remember that the first thing that I thought about was this is such an incredible opportunity for international students, especially. Because I think depending on where you're from, it's actually quite difficult to visit Oxford in person. So I think it's especially important to demystify Oxford. We've heard this a lot, but I think it's especially a great opportunity for international students to get to know Oxford a bit, to hear about what Oxford is like, what student life is like. And I would just really like to be a part of that and maybe share my perspective as an international student as well. I haven't done any access work yet, but I'm very happy to start now. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. I've never actually thought about that before, but I guess this is I guess in the title, Oxford from the Inside, a very good alternative if one couldn't make it to open day. Yeah, you're definitely, that's very true. So moving on to the next question. What would you guys would have liked to have known before you came to Oxford, now being here for your short time? Starting with Nelson.
The amount of support available here. You assume that you're dropped into the deep end coming to Oxford and that, oh, it's Oxford, it's so and so, and you have to fight your way through it and just do it by yourself. But no, there's tons of support, be it financial or just personal. It's the mental health provisions here are amazing, and the bursaries here are also amazing. So anyone from any background can fit in here and can make it a success.
What kind do you know? What kind of like academic support you can get here, or have you experienced?
So I know that most colleges, if not all, have academic reps, which help to just fight on your behalf per se, and just advance your interests academically and help resolve issues between you and your tutors or you and the other departments. It's just the support's there for everyone to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. Which yeah is in terms of disputes between students and tutors, that is a rare occasion that they'll be needed. But as you mentioned, the tutors, it is true that something unique about Oxford and Cambridge compared to other unis is how each degree have weekly tutorials with an expert in the field, which is quite amazing, which you won't. Which is quite exclusive to Oxford and Cambridge. Other unis do something similar, but normally the group sizes are much bigger than 1 or 2 free students. Anna, same question about what would you have liked to have known before you came to Oxford?
I don't think I have a single thing I would have liked to know. I kind of wanted to know everything before I came here. Whether this be about all this, there are so many different societies you can join. So many. Not only within your college, but uni-wide. There are so many different societies. And whether it's about societies or about tutorials in general, I was really nervous before my first tutorial. And I thought that my tutors were going to be really scary. They were going to rip my essay apart, all those stories you hear. But they're really lovely, really nice. So I guess what makes Oxford from the Inside great is that you get so many different videos on so many different topics, because I think that a prospective applicant doesn't only want to know about one specific aspect of Oxford life, but rather just everything. I think that is also what I like about Oxford from the Inside. It covers such a wide range of topics.
Talking about aspects of life, can you run us down what your first tutorial was like, and what was your essay about, and how did it go with the tutors?
Okay, so my first 2 tutorials didn't include any essays, because in the first term we had economics, so that was micro. We had a tutorial sheet, which just had a couple of mathsy questions. And then my second tutorial was on philosophy, but the first year component in Michaelmas term for most colleges, I think, is logic. So didn't actually have an essay there either. So we had to submit our tutorial work. It's always about 2-3 days in advance of the tutorial. And then I get feedback before the tutorial, so I can see if there's anything I've done wrong, anything I can improve before the tutorial, or just note down if I have any questions, really. And then within the tutorial, we discussed the questions that we handed in. It was all really nice. No one was really put on the spot. It was more of a who wants to say something about this question. And my tutors are really nice, always there to answer any additional questions if I have any. Over vacation, for example, as I was preparing for collections, I had a question about a specific topic and they answered, even though it was literally, I think, between Christmas and New Year's. So they're really there to support you.
Nice. Nelson, doing the same degree, I was just wondering if your experiences were the same with your first tutorial PPE.
So yes and no, in that Trinity College does it slightly differently, in that we had essays for our economics and it was all essays for the first term. And the very first essay was set a week and a half before we even here. So it's like we spent Freshers Week doing it. And it was the least economicsy question ever, in that he wanted us to assess whether Burning Man could be an economy for the entire globe. And he didn't even want us to take it economically. He wanted us to take it in a social vein. So it shows just how much variety there is in tutor personalities and their specialisms and what they set you.
Wow, that is quite interesting. So Olivia, same question. What would you have liked to have known before you came to Oxford?
I think for me, what I would have loved to know is kind of like how much of a say, how much of a voice the students have in how their life at Oxford should go, like the JCRs and everything that JCRs do. And I think it's one of those things where I didn't realise, like, if you have an issue within the college or uni-wide itself, there will always be someone there to represent you, someone who's represented and chosen by you as a student to make sure that regardless of what happens, there will always be some sort of action taking place to make sure the experience is as beneficial to the students as possible, which I think like really showed itself over the last few months and last few terms with all the COVID issues and everything. Because like at Trinity, we had some really strict restrictions on ourselves at first, but I think it was because of Nadia, like her work, our JCR president, and her work within the Trinity staff that helped kind of like improve the situation for us and helped us open up term to make it a better experience for us. So I think that's something I'd really like to know.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's amazing how. So, if anyone who doesn't know, I mean, we've done an episode about JCRs in Oxford, or Oxford split into lots of different colleges, and each college has a JCR, which is a student committee, I guess, for each college, and it means that. So normally, I think, and at least in school, there'd be one committee for the whole school, I guess, and maybe for some unis, I'm not sure. But it's the fact that it's for each college means that student politics is such a massive thing in Oxford. Yeah, I think you can see it from another sense in the sense that I think the college staff do have a tough time, because this is a uni with very angsty teenagers or young adults who are also amazing critical thinkers, which is a loud combination. So difficult conversations happen between students who want stuff to be done, and the staff get a tough time because those conversations are tend to be very fair points and well structured. In my time here, there's been if you are interested in student politics, I would consider here for sure. And JP, same question. What would you have liked to have known before you came to Oxford?
Actually, before I answer that question, I might just add on to the student politics point. So with student politics and the staff kind of having to deal with what we have to do, I might just add that it's not only the JCR where you have input. So I was the biochemistry year rep last year for a year and a half. And during the COVID crisis, we had our finals exams. So the exams that would basically determine half our degree completely thrown up in the air because of COVID. And as the year rep, I had to come to an agreement with the department based on the students in my year. So I had to run a poll survey and give them feedback. And basically, long story short, after lots of debates and discussions with the department, I managed to get them to make our exams open book online and to cut the number of questions in each exam. So we only had 2 questions instead of 3. So the exam, I think, is probably the easiest finals that we've ever sat because of the pandemic. And you do have a lot of rights as students in the department as well for each subject. So that's something I'd like to add there. But to answer the question that you asked,
that's amazing. That's amazing that you managed to do that, and the fact that the students have the opportunity to do things like that. But sorry to cut you off, Karen.
That's all right. I was just going to say, because that was my role in biochemistry, so I had quite a lot of input in that. I was basically under a lot of pressure from the students and the department to come to some sort of conclusion. But anyway, to answer the question, I kind of wished I'd known that colleges don't really matter. I know it's a bold statement, but when you first apply, unless you have a specific college in mind that a sibling went to, or there's a really interesting tutor you want to be in the college with, it doesn't matter. Most students might get pulled. I got pulled twice. Actually, it doesn't matter which college you end up in, you'll find friends, you'll make friends, you'll find that your tutor is, on the whole, a nice person. I think it's very rare, but there are some situations you may not get along with your tutor. But in most cases, you'll have a lovely tutor, you have a lovely college, you'll make friends, and when you leave, your college will become your home, and it doesn't really matter which one it is. So I'll say that.
No, for sure. I really strongly agree as well. There's only the differences between the colleges are quite minor, but it is true that I know for me at least. So it's my 3rd year in Trinity. Obviously, if I was in a different college, I would have made different friends, and it would have been fine, hopefully. But the friends that I've made now, it seems kind of surreal that I'd want anything different, and sort of logically that's the case for everyone, whatever college they are. So and that story of no matter which college you're at, you're going to love it and it will become your favorite, tends to be true almost all the time. So a little less about Oxford, but get to know a bit more about you guys. Can you give us your favourite? So we had just a bit of behind the scenes. It was going to be your favourite book, but we got a bit of negative response to that. So we've changed the question to what is your favourite book / film / TV show for you guys? Starting with Olivia.
I guess my favourite film would have to be Big Hero 6. It's not very intellectual of me, but I think I've always loved Pixar films. I've always loved Disney films. And when I first watched that film in cinemas, I think when it came out in 2013 something, I cried, and I haven't stopped crying that film since. So it's like a comfort film for me, I guess.
Which one is it, sorry?
This is Big Hero 6. It's the one with like the walking marshmallow and like the people in San Francisco or whatever it's called.
Oh, Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't seen it. Damn, I'm too old. 2013 wasn't the Pixar year for me. RIP. But it sounds amazing. It's on I'll write it on my list for sure. Have you guys seen the film? JP.
Oh,
Even though
JP. Our younger sibling.
Of course, yeah. Anyways, no, it's I'll definitely think about it. I do like my Pixar films. Got a lot of Up. One day I'll play and learn the piano tune. But anyways, Nelson, favorite book, film, TV show, book.
Yeah, no, not book. Not book. It has to be TV show. Mock the Week. Nothing beats Mock the Week for me. Dara O'Brien is just amazing on it.
Not 8 out of 10 cats. Sean Locke.
Maybe no. 8 out of 10 cats does Countdown. Yes.
Yeah.
Not the original.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, no, those kind of shows, I don't know what they're called, but like the comedies, but with the panel show kind of thing. Yeah, no, up my alley as well. Love that for sure. Anna, favorite book, TV show / film? Did you say something about Immanuel Kant being your favorite book? I'm pretty sure that's what you said before, no? I'm joking, obviously.
No,
Unless it is your favorite book, don't give it. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. You were saying.
I would say I haven't read it yet, but it's in my room. It will be read.
By osmosis.
So I
No. I object.
The partial membrane that goes through is I'm stopping with that.
Bad science. It's not a good book, by the way. It's also a good book.
CAD's non-stop difficult technicalities as the partial membrane. I'm stopping now. I'm sorry, JP. You were saying, Anna, something about your favorite something.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to name both a TV show and a film because I can't really decide. So I watched Midnight in Paris a couple of days ago by Woody Allen, and I don't know what it is about this film, but I find it really magical. So I watched it with this girl in my household, and by the end we just couldn't get up. We were just completely mystified by the movie. It's a great movie. And then over vacation I watched The Queen's Gambit. It's this new Netflix show, and I must say I really liked it. But in general, I watch lots of movies, lots of TV shows. So I wouldn't quite say I have a favorite.
Nice. I watched The Queen's Gambit over the holidays as well. Can you play chess? No, fair enough. Well, maybe you'll be inspired. Yeah, nice. We'd love to hear it. I've never watched. Was it Midnight in Paris? Is that
Paris, yeah.
Is that the one with Audrey Hepburn?
No.
No. Okay. Might be something else in Paris. Anyway, or Breakfast at Tiffany's. That's the one. Similar, give me a break. JP, same question.
Okay, I'll go with two TV shows. One which is a bit more serious, one which is a bit more light-hearted. The serious one is Line of Duty. Really enjoy it. It's a police drama. Jed McHugh is a really good writer. I think there's a new series coming out in March. Looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll find out who this H is. And the more fun one is The Flash. I really like the TV show.
Oh damn! Yeah, I used to watch The Flash. I didn't finish it, but yeah, nice. Yeah, Line of Duty. I've heard good things. Katie, who's on our team now, does the marketing, but she did a few of the first episodes. Her favorite TV show is Line of Duty as well. Sure, she would love to hear a fan. And yeah, I guess now that we're all talking about our favorite whatevers, I might jump in a little bit. Favorite film? Don't know if you guys watched Good Will Hunting.
Is that the one with Matt Damon?
That is the one with Matt Damon. That is.
That's all I know about it. Sorry. Only here for Matt Damon.
Only for Matt Damon. Yeah, it's a good film. I recommend. It has a high IMDb rating, which, you know, when it comes to films, that's all that you need to know. I don't know if any of you do that. IMDb. It's like they rate all the films, and then you can check like what's like the objective standards, and if it's high, then you know it's going to be a good film, and they're always right. Besides Saving Private Ryan, because I didn't think that was good, and it had a high rating, personally. But sorry. And lastly, more about the future. What can we expect from you guys on future episodes, starting with JP?
So I'll be interested to look at kind of student life at University of Oxford, sort of things that we find out as students, sort of things we don't find out as students, and how we can learn about them, and just to give a different perspective really to the Oxford city, and all the societies you can get involved in, all the activities you can learn from, and yeah, pass on what I've learned from my 4.5 years in Oxford.
Nice. I'd love to hear it. Nelson, same question.
It's more about, I'm probably going to focus on backgrounds and how much backgrounds don't matter at Oxford, in that you could have gone to a state school, a private school, you could have been like me on benefits, or you could have been a multi-millionaire. Everyone has a place in Oxford, and just your background has no bearing on how successful you'll be at Oxford, or whether you even deserve to be here.
Why do you think those myths exist beforehand?
It's a bit of like a stereotype, in that you only really see successful Oxford graduates who are the stereotypical white male, middle to upper class. So it's about tackling that. If you just look at government, most of them fulfill that stereotype. So it's about breaking down that stereotype and going, no, you don't have to be white male upper class to succeed. You can be whatever you want. You have a place in Oxford if you deserve it.
Nice. And Olivia, same question. What can we expect from you in the future?
I guess for me, I think it's just kind of like, because I'm a fresher and I'm kind of like going through the process of discovering Oxford and like all the things, like opportunities it has. So I think for me, it'll just be like, how can we kind of like make the most of our time in Oxford, and how can we use our time in Oxford to kind of like help future students and kind of like help Oxford expand beyond the typical stereotypes that Nelson was mentioning.
Nice. No, yeah, for sure. And Anna?
I think I'm going to try and focus maybe a bit on the international perspective. Just what is life like as an international student? There is a lot of international students at Oriel, so I might just interview some people there, how they feel they have settled in, whether they have experienced any problems, or language-wise. There are so many different things to living in the UK that might strike one a bit, like the meal deal. What's the big deal about the meal deal? But everyone's going on about the meal deal all the time. So maybe just talking a bit about life as an international at Oxford, because that is also what I would have personally found very helpful in the application process.
Nice.
Actually, as a year rep, I know there's quite a lot of rumbling in the many different science degrees now about international student fees, because they remain the prices. I think they want to jack them up even higher, even though you're basically doing a degree now on Zoom. So that's something that's
And also for EU students, so I was quite lucky in that sense that I started this year, and because I'm basically the last year that is going to pay the EU/UK home fees, whereas people who are going to start this year, I think they're going to be paying the full international fees, just 3 times the standard or UK/EU fee. That is quite the increase.
And it's quite the increase. Yeah, sad to hear. Well, depending on which side you're on, but that's an episode. On that note, I think that's all that we've got time for today. There's no more questions. What can you do? But yeah, no, it's been really nice hearing from you guys, getting to know you guys a little bit more, and exciting to hear the episodes that you're going to come with in the future. So yeah, thank you guys for joining. And yeah, we'll see a lot more from you. And thanks for the viewers for listening in, whether that's on your podcasting platform or on YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.